and doors open and close, keeping out and letting in. The dark and the light, the wrong and the right, I decide what enters in. The things that I choose determine if I lose all the light that's within my holy house. Shadowy voice speaks at my door with many dark things to say. What should I do? The spirit inside tells me I should turn away. A temple of light with windows clean and bright lights the soul that's within my holy house. Mine is a house of holiness, up to me to keep it clean. My own temple full of love and light, where the Spirit stays with me. I begin to see souls in me, knocking so gently, hearts to feed. Should I let them into my life? Is there room inside for love, for love? Seeking to help, seeking to care, making a welcome place. With each kind step, love fills the room, granting the Savior's grace. A temple of light, with windows clean and bright, lights the soul that's within my holy house. Mine is a house of holiness, up to me to keep it clean. My own temple full of love and light, where the Spirit stays with me. Mine is a house of holiness, up to me to keep it clean. My own temple full of love and light, where the Spirit stays with me. Where His Spirit stays with me.
Utah. You are watching Mormon Talk with Carson O. Kimball and Brett O'Call.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mormon Talk. I'm Carson O'Kimball.
And I'm Brett O'Call.
And we're so excited to be here with you guys for another night of calls and of sharing and giving and teaching and hopefully receiving. But anyway, wonderful. Do we have any special announcements, Brett?
Well, you know, I guess that's personal. I won't get into it. I don't know. I can't think of any person.
Our chicken coop we worked on a little bit over the weekend, and we had a tiny bit of snow over here, and we're basically making it out of like plywood, and some snow weighed down on it, and it came tumbling down. At the worst timing possible, it fell right on Brett.
Well, I didn't know that was an announcement.
Well, you know what? It's something that it's an update worth sharing, because we do want to stress to everybody, our sponsor once again. Thank you to Cackle Hatchery for sponsoring us, despite what happened last week with one of those phone calls. We're so sorry about that. Mm-hmm. We're not here to, be made fun of, to have fools made of ourselves, or to have the families and good people that are tuning into the show be basically splashed with filth from some of these callers. And we're going to do our very best this week to maintain that respectful environment so that sponsors like Cackle Hatchery can feel comfortable paying us, and that we can, we can just have a positive time where people can come together and learn and grow and yeah. Well, wonderful. Brett is adjusting our lighting situation right now. It's quite bright. Brett has very sensitive eyes to blue light. It can definitely make him feel migraine. But yeah. How are you feeling now, Brett?
Well, actually after the incident with the chicken coop, my neck muscles have been so unbelievably tight that they're just pulling on the back of my skull, and I've just had a migraine. It's been pretty rough for me, and so the light really is it's not helping.
Well, you know what? Whatever makes you feel better, Brett. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the chat. Okay, well, wonderful. Okay. Yukahulela Ekinele says Trumo 2020 for One Good America. We will try to keep politics out of the show. Until one of the candidates for president is determined
officially
president-elect, and then maybe we'll give a shout out. But that's about it. Let's see. Nate says, "Yo, the governor just indicated everyone should wear a mask if they're from different households."
Well, I mean, we're practically brothers.
Right. Brett and I have shared cups, food, beds in the past, all sorts of just air. We're constantly breathing in the same place.
Blood sometimes. I mean, like
it
was one specific instance I'm talking about.
Right. That was I felt comfortable with it though. Will suffice it to say that. So I think we're good. This is the first time I haven't worn a mask since the coronavirus pandemic began.
I don't think you can say coronavirus on YouTube.
Oh, since the worldwide health sickness crisis began. So, but I did get a test recently, and I know that Brett has had a test before, somewhat recently.
For my job, I have to get tested very frequently, actually.
Right. And so we're good to go. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and ignore that. Wonderful.
Are our mics on?
Oh. Yes, they are.
Oh,
thank goodness.
Man, I was worried that
about to just quit.
Yeah. I hate having such a good intro like that.
Right.
And no mic.
Yeah. Well, we do have a mic. 2 of them, in fact. So we're wonderful.
Dave
Great.
Hawkins says the virus is no match for your strength. Well, thank you, Dave. I tend to agree. I think I have an immune system that would beat the snot out of the virus, to put it lightly.
Absolutely. I agree. I don't remember. Well, I mean, I've been sick pretty recently. But anyway, you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O. Kimball.
And Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
The one and only show where you can call in and ask myself and Brett here questions about our faith. We are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We love to answer questions about that. Or if you have a question about maybe just life in general or want some advice, we're here for you. But anyway, caller, you are on the air. Go ahead.
This show is violating the governor's order to wear masks and not be around people not in your own household.
Well,
you could be fined $10,000.
I am in Carson's household right now.
Right.
So.
Well, that was
illuminating,
informative. I didn't hear anything. Hello? The governor said, "Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O. Kimball
and Brett O'Call. You have the honors, caller.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, did you guys realize that you guys are on Google? Like your names, Mormon Talk, shows up.
Yeah.
I haven't tried Googling the show
so
before.
Type in Mormon Talk Religious School on Google. It shows you guys.
Religious
it's
school?
so cool. It shows, I don't know why religious school, but it shows pictures of you guys. Also, have you guys what happened to the giveaway?
Oh, the giveaway has had to be postponed.
Penis, vagina, penis.
Wait, where's the window? Where's the window?
Penis.
No matter what you're doing, you have to have the window available.
I was trying to search on Google.
I know. That's totally. We had to look on Google.
I think they tricked us. I think
that was intentional. I mean, it was intentional to pull us away from our vigilance, let our guard down by searching on Google.
Yeah, which I don't even. I try not to use Google.
We're not even on here.
I try not to use Google.
Yeah,
I only use Internet Explorer and Yahoo or Bing, not Google. Google will track your data.
Ask Jeeves one.
Hello, caller. You're on the air with C. Kimball
and B. Call.
Yeah, I don't even.
Hello?
I try not to use Google.
Hello.
Caller, you're on the air. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was on Mormon Talk a while ago and asking how, the difference between Christianity. Why do you have a problem with Christianity?
Oh, we don't have a problem with Christianity. We are Christians ourselves.
Oh, well. Penis! Oh, I fucked your phone. Yeah, okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O. Kimball.
And Brett O'Call.
Please.
Welcome to Mormon Talk.
And
keep it clean.
Yeah, well said.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
We're great, but we do just want to, for the past calls we've had, please, there are families watching. I know for a fact that my family is watching, my younger siblings, and my parents are watching tonight.
That's fine.
Yeah, my mother's watching.
No problem.
So
I give you my word, this is not a splash. This is a doctrinal question, if that's okay.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you. Well, you have the honors.
Thanks, Brett. I am curious, in the Word of Wisdom, it specifically mentions staying away from things like alcohol and, certainly illegal drugs and things like that.
Correct.
But it also mentions things like exercise, not consuming too much sugar. That's also correct, right?
Well, it's definitely implicit in the word of wisdom, I would say. It says that the word of wisdom is for the weakest. So it's basically a place to start to say, hey, the Lord wants our bodies to be clean so that we can be a proper receptacle for the Spirit. During the standby part of the show, before we began, I this is an announcement I don't know if I should be making, but I recently have been called to teach early morning seminary. And that's one of the old videos that are in the archive about keeping your body clean and not letting things in that might dirty it all on up. And so the word of wisdom, as outlined in the Doctrine and Covenants, just at the time gave the bare minimum, the weakest,
Yeah, and that's, I guess my question is why can people, specifically saints, temple recommend holding saints, enter the temple when they're in complete violation of that commandment? Specifically, like if I drank and smoke, I wouldn't be allowed entrance.
Right, but if you ate fruit out of season, you might.
Overweight.
Right, but if you ate fruit out of season, you'd be able to
and
enter.
my body isn't clean, and I'm absolutely disgusting, and I'm destroying the body that God gifted me. Why am I allowed to enter the temple?
Well, there are certain things that are just more offensive in the sight of God than another. The word of wisdom is there so that we can receive revelation and we can, be healthy. Yes, of course. But it's not, I would say, like, for instance, eating fruit in the season that, thereof and stuff like that in the proper season. That's a good thing to do, laid out in the word of wisdom. If you fail to do that, I think that is a lot less offensive in the sight of God than maybe taking a toke of weed, tobacco, or an inebriating beverage like beer,
right?
Or people getting drunk on wine or whiskey and stuff like that. It's a totally different ballgame because of the inebriation effects that you have. The Lord still wants us to cherish our bodies, but the Lord, with the temple, the Lord's not saying you have to be 100% perfect. But what the Lord is doing, with the bishop interviews and the stake president interviews for temple recommends, is making sure that you're not doing you're not slamming hard on the big ones. You know what I mean? You're not slamming down my card.
Can I share?
Go ahead.
Can I share an experience with you from my stake president? Because I asked him the same question.
Awesome.
And I was curious if I would get the same answer.
Okay.
My question to him specifically was, why can fat people go to the temple? And that sounds really rude, but at the root of the word of wisdom is healthy eating and taking care of the temple and the vessel that the Lord created for us, which is our body. And his response was, we would have really low temple attendance because we have a lot of fat saints. And I'm not kidding. That's verbatim what he said. And I thought that was a little uncalled for, but I was curious what you guys thought.
See, I personally think that people, in our church that tend to be overweight, more likely than not, might have a thyroid problem, some medical condition. I don't believe it's them being, gluttonous with their food.
Not always, at least.
I think more often
Sure.
than not, it's a medical condition that leads to being overweight.
Gotcha. I think it could be the case some of the time, and I'll get moving on so you guys can take the next call. But my temple name is Moroni. Just wanted to thank you guys for having me on the show.
Don't call again.
Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call, welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hello, brother.
You have the honor. Don't disgrace
I don't know
it.
if you remember, Carson, but the night you were trying to get Brother Wilcox on, I called after the show, and we had a conversation.
Yeah, that was a very difficult night, we're just trying to move on from it. But welcome back to the show. Do you have a question for Brett or myself?
For
We're all
sure.
ears.
It's not. Sorry, I'm eating some pizza and it's really hot. I'm just wondering why you guys never have like women people on your stream. Like, I'd love to see some representation.
Well, we personally really just haven't been reached out by any women. They're
You good at
not reaching out to.
One of my best friends, Rebecca, was on the show.
There's some representation there for the female counterpart, but as far as like we have Riker, we have we were trying to get who else were we? Oh, we had New Name Noah, and that was not good. We tried to debate him, that wasn't good. But then we've had some other people as well. And it's just it's a small sample size, really. I mean, we've only had a few official guests on the show, and those were the ones that reached out to us. If we're not going to discriminate, we're not going to say, no, you can't come on our show as some sort of expert or whatever it may be. Because you're a woman, we're not going to do that.
Of course
but
not.
you have to reach out to us.
Right. So the thing is, it's just pure coincidence. We've barely had, like Brett was saying, we barely had anyone physically on the show besides ourselves,
and Brock and Frederick.
Right. So we barely had anyone, and it extends to Brock, to Frederick, and to
Rebecca.
to Rebecca, and that's basically it. So 1 out of 3 have been female. So
Okay. I actually do have a real question though. I was in seminary today,
awesome.
and we were talking about loving one another and like following Jesus's commandments and why baptism is important. Like, I think we were in 3rd Nephi. It was really good, and my teacher was just awesome. And I had a question about baptism. Is what if someone who is converting into the church hasn't been baptized and gets baptized? Is there any like strings attached to that? Like, does God think like, oh, they were baptized afterwards, they aren't the same, or is it like the same?
Wait, so
because my seminary teacher
yes,
said that
gotcha.
his friend converted, and like his bishop was like way rude about it. Like, he was so rude and being like, you won't be seen the same in the eyes of God. And that kind of hurt me and my friend in a way, because it made me really sad that someone, sorry.
So you're asking sorry, can you restate your question one more time? I think I have your answer, but
You're all good. Your mic isn't working very well.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like you keep saying that you want to give Brett a blowjob and suck him off. And give him.
Pardon me?
Fuck. Suck.
What is it with these false allegations? we've never shown homosexual tendencies on the show, but people just want to keep pretending that we're homosexual. You know, like this is something that started a long time ago, way in the early days of Mormon Talk, and it's persisted since. You know, you guys are making this homosexual link.
We're married men. And for the record, my wife heard what was just said.
Yeah.
Okay? And she has no issue.
My mother heard what you said.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about everyone who heard what was just said because it's just too much. But here's the deal, guys. We could choose either just move on, keep taking calls, keep being splashed, or we can stand up for ourselves. And I think right now it's time for us to stand up. It's a season for courage. And like Brett said, we are not people who partake in one another at all, period. And we never will ever, okay? It's completely ridiculous that these allegations are spread. You know, and another thing is this. A lot of people like to use gay as a way to try and splash Brett and I, okay, and make fun of us. But at the same time, they claim to protect gay and to,
fight for, the equality and justice.
Right.
And then they turn it against us.
Right. And so here's the thing. Why, if you are trying to, protect gay and tell people that gay is good and there's nothing wrong with it, then why are you using it to try and insult people? Okay? That's like saying, yeah, having big ears is completely normal and fine, and then pointing at someone for their big ears and that are not as big as maybe someone else's, and then making fun of them. It's wrong. It's completely inappropriate, and we are so sorry to the families that are watching and to our sponsor as well. But we'll keep going. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we might just end early tonight because this is...
And to clear the air... Because this has been resurfacing as well, Carson is not a furry.
That goes without saying.
Someone a long time ago brought up this rumor, and so Carson has gone into great lengths to prove that he's not a furry and to show you guys. But it's like you don't even care. You just want to, call him a depraved, individual when he's not.
If I were a furry, why would I, as an author, write so explicitly against furry culture and basically condemn it in very clear terms? Why would I do that? This is just absolute baloney, and it doesn't deserve to even be spouted anymore, frankly. But regardless, hello, caller. You're on the air with C. Kimball.
And B. Call. Let's be respectful. Let's be clean.
Hello.
Let's be nice. And you have the honors.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this Mormon Talk?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, so, I actually, met Carson the other day at the grocery store. I don't know if you remember me, but,
Were you at Costco?
Yeah, I think we, ran into each other at Costco, and I remembered you from Mormon Talk.
I don't recall. I mean, that was the only time I went to the grocery store in the past week. I have been a little bit zonky on my sleep lately, so maybe I just don't remember.
It's okay.
But
Me too.
did we have a conversation or?
Yeah, we did. We talked about I think we talked about the channel a little bit, and after that, you put your cock in my mouth and fucked me.
Okay, just for the record, for everyone watching, if you had the misfortune of hearing that filth, that never happened. That person literally just made that up. I was at Costco, and I didn't run to a single Mormon Talk fan. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And also, Carson did not have any extramarital affairs.
Period.
And he never will.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry, you guys had to hear that. Hello, Carson. Hello, Brett. This is Brother Flick. How are you guys?
Hello, Brother Flick.
Welcome to the show.
It's nice to hear from you.
Hey, guys. So I just tuned in now. I don't know what the calls were like before mine, but hopefully I can enrich the spirit of the show by sharing some really nice scripture.
I believe that you can.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, this is one of my favorite months, you guys. It's the ability to enjoy Thanksgiving and realize that you have a happy family and you have so much to be thankful for. And one thing I would like to do every Monday of this month is call in and tell some scripture that can just enlighten us all and realize that
well, if you
we
want
are
to
all
sing the
truly
scripture, you can.
blessed.
Oh, wonderful. Go ahead.
All right, so this one scripture I will share is in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11. You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion, and through us your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. And just wanted to share that, and I hope you guys love it, and I hope the audience loves it too.
Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
You're being very generous tonight with your good graces.
Right. I well said. I agree, and I think that the reason for that, when we are generous, first of all, our Heavenly Father is extremely generous. I believe that every single thing that our Heavenly Father does is for the betterment of his children, for the ones that he loves. I don't think he's even capable of doing anything else that isn't for our ultimate good. And so with that sort of ultimate and infinite generosity, the Lord wants us to be like him. How knoweth a master whom he doth not serve? In the scriptures. And so when we are generous like our Heavenly Father and we try to be generous, then what he does is he sends his Spirit, and the Spirit confirms that principle of generosity. And we understand it in a teeny tiny little way like he does. And so the more generous we are and the more giving and charitable we are, the more we understand how much our Heavenly Father loves us, because we're living in our small and finite way what he infinitely does for us every single day. And so what a wonderful thing to share during this magical and warm time of year. It might be cold outside, but it sure is warm next to the chestnuts and turkey dressing and family and things like that,
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm super excited too, because this Thanksgiving will be the first Thanksgiving that I'm actually having my girlfriend come over to my mother's house, and she gets to meet my girlfriend for the first time, and it's going to be an awesome Thanksgiving. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Good for you.
Good for
you.
Yeah, that is there's a lot to be thankful for, Brother Flick. Thank you so much for calling in to Mormon Talk, and we wish you the best.
Have a great night.
All right,
Brother
you
Flick.
guys too. If I don't hear from you guys again, I just want to wish you, Brett, and you, Carson, a very wonderful Thanksgiving, and have a good one with your families. God bless
Thank
you
you.
all,
You too.
and good night.
Thank you. Wonderful. That was uplifting. Go ahead.
Hey guys, it's Brother Nick.
Maybe at high quantities.
Like how
Hello?
quantities would you have to take to get an immune
Hello?
effect?
I don't know. We might
Can you
have
guys
to
hear
go to
me?
Mayo Clinic. Hello. Sorry. Hello, caller. You're on the air with C. Kimball.
And B. Call, welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hey guys, it's Brother Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Brett, I'm sorry, you look a little bit sad. I just want to let you guys know, no matter what goes on tonight, it's terrible how people can call in, especially if you guys have your family watching. It's terrible, but guys just got to know, keep your heads up,
Thank
Wonderful
you.
guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm more in
Carson,
pain
I'm currently
than
in the
sad.
process of purchasing your book. I'm just waiting for some money to be transferred onto my Visa.
Oh, great. Well,
Perfect.
What a
Can't wait.
wonderful time of year to crack open a new book.
Of course. The last thing is, Okay, I didn't ask somebody from my church this because I was embarrassed if this was a dumb question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I don't want to offend you or anything, but are Mormons allowed to have multiple wives? I heard this on the internet, and I'm not quite sure.
No. That's the simple
Okay.
answer.
The
simple answer is that's Blanky, no.
Okay, that's great. And the last thing is Beth is still bullying me. It's really hurting my feelings.
Wait. Are you serious? Or is this a joke?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
See, we had an extensive
Sorry,
talk.
guys. Good night.
This is a kid that is calling in, and we have adults bullying them.
We had an extensive talk with Beth about her behavior in
Did
the chat.
We? Oh, in the chat.
And I hope Nick may be reading into your words. What am I trying to say? I hope
think
Nick
that
may be misinterpreting your messages to him.
Bottom line is this: we have rules. You know, we have no cussing. We have no talking filth about the sacred parts of our religion, i.e., the temple. No calling in and splashing dox stuff or bullying. Frankly, okay, bullying is not allowed, and if this persists, I'm sorry. This is why we have Happy Meg WV, and this is also why we have Kyle Masta. And so to Beth, I'd say that this is just the final warning. We do not allow bullying, especially in the chat, to children. These are children that are being bullied. Children have to deal with enough steaming baloney at school, okay, with their peers bullying them.
Can they get the same kind of beanbag treatment if they're online, though?
Yeah, I'd say they can, especially coming from an adult.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes from an adult, it just hits harder when you're a kid.
Yeah.
So please, Beth, no more funny business, no more denying it. Please stop bullying children or anyone for that matter, because it has real effects on people. Anyway, okay, let's keep trudging along. Hello, caller. You are on the air with Carson O'Kimball
and Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Do you have a question for us, caller?
Yes, I do. Why are Mormons not allowed to share their temple names?
Okay, this is a topic that I'm not going to go just because I'm wary that you might be trying to splash the show, because there are certain sacred things between us and the Lord, okay, that He asks us to not share, and that's all the answer you need. The temple is a very special and sacred place that
I'm sorry, I had a bad feeling about that one. It was a female caller, and they were asking about something that we don't talk about on the show. So
hello.
I felt splashing coming from it.
Okay.
Plus,
I think I heard that voice
down the pipeline.
I think I heard that voice before, and that voice did splash us before. But hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball
and Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Yeah, I was just curious since, it seems like the topic right now is bullying, and besides this going on, obviously, right now with Mormon Talk, I was curious about if you had any other times about bullying and how you dealt with it.
Unfortunately, I have dealt with plenty of bullying in my life. People really tried to keep me down in my youth, and especially, some of the younger kids, they would bully me on the playgrounds, and they would back me into the corner of the fence so that I couldn't move, and they would harass me. They'd throw pebbles at me. Someone flicked a nickel at my forehead once, and I don't know if you can tell. See this scar right here?
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that's from a nickel hitting my forehead from some you know first graders.
Public school guys.
Some first graders, just messing with me, and so you know, it's hard to deal with bullying. It's something that, you know, I take very seriously. It's something that, you know, really is it's almost being amplified at this time, you know, because of national divide and just the anonymity of the internet and, you know, all these other things that all really contribute to it. Everyone's, you know, everyone's just not in a good place, and so they resort to bullying to feel better, and it's pathetic. It's disgusting. And, you know, close your eyes if you have to. You know, you can walk away. You can stop reading. You can, you know, plug your ears if you have to. What about you? Do you
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in high school and I had to go to gym class, and, you know, you have to shower there, and I was bullied for certain things.
Hold on. Well, I think suffice it to say, caller, you know, like Brett was saying, first of all, you gotta endure it. You gotta keep plugging forward and, you know, not let it define you. I had brothers growing up, and I was the eldest, and, you know, we didn't bully each other, but we all had rough and tumble play. We would play in the grass and play all around the house and stuff, and we got rough and tumble with each other. But we kind of learned, I think, from rough and tumble play to understand that give and take of each other physically, and also to just learn how to get our wiggles out or our feelings out. Like, let's say we're dribbling a ball in the court, you know, in the driveway, shooting hoops, and maybe my brother Wilson felt like I fouled him or something like that. Sometimes it would result in a tussle, you know, like a rough and tumble outcome. But in the end, no one got hurt. We wouldn't hurt each other or anything like that. And so I think, you know, if you're having a bully or something, look at him squarely in the eyes and say, hey, listen, let's arm wrestle. Okay? That'll catch him off guard.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're saying, hey, listen, let's both engage in just I guess a contest of strength or wits or whatever. Let's deal with this one-on-one. Let's arm wrestle. Okay? And if you will ask them that in the moment, I guarantee you, for one, it'll bewilder them. And for two, you know, when you're both arm wrestling each other, you'll feel each other's strength. Okay? And that can ward off a bully.
Yeah.
So if I get into this tussle, so I'm not that strong of a person. Is it okay if I use, I don't know, like, if I had like a bat or something, just in case it got too bad?
No, that's not what I mean by rough and tumble play.
Have a bat with you, but don't ever use it. Don't ever use it.
I'd say
it's just for appearance. Like, you could have it like,
okay, yeah, just appearance.
Maybe like
be like, don't mess with me, and like.
I don't know if a bat's necessary.
I would personally put it in like my, if I had like some loose jeans, maybe like down the side leg.
I don't think it would fit.
Yeah, that'd make me look bigger.
Yeah, I don't think that a bat's necessary. I see what you're saying though. Brett's just saying, hey, if you have a bat, you know, don't use it.
Don't brandish it.
Let them know you have it.
Don't brandish it. You know, don't threaten.
Like if someone were to try and bully you and say, hey, I have a bat or I have whatever. But I think another thing that you need to do is to tell someone. A lot of bullies want you to, they want it to just be a secret between, you know, you and maybe a small group of people so they can feel cool in front of their friends. Are you in high school or anyway? It doesn't matter where you are. Yeah. Tell someone. Tell a teacher. Tell a police officer. Tell someone that you're being bullied, and they'll try and make you feel like you are less than them for that, like you cowered out or that you're a snitch or something. But those are just insults that they say because you won the game. And that's all they have now is to try and make you feel lesser with their zanky, accusation. But tell on them for calling you a snitch.
I think what I'm going to do is, if it happens again, first I'll get on my knees and pray, right in front of them. I'll get on my knees. And if that don't work, then, yeah, I'll have my bat there. It'll be in my pants, and just hopefully it makes me look bigger and stronger. But, yeah.
I don't think having a bat around is really a great idea.
So another interesting tactic you could employ would be to maybe have a beanbag. I know this sounds silly. Have a beanbag and, print out a picture of their face or something.
I don't
and
think
put
that's...
and put it on the beanbag and show them. And show them, be like, look, you're being a beanbag right now.
Okay, Brett, who has the time to just print out a beanbag picture? I'm sorry, that seems...
No, you have a beanbag, an actual beanbag, but then you print out a picture of their face and put it on the beanbag.
Right, but what I'm saying... I feel, Brett, like that's just going too far. I feel like you could nip it in the butt a lot quicker than having to go bud a lot faster than having to manufacture a beanbag.
You're not manufacturing a beanbag.
What I'm saying is
you go buy a beanbag.
Stapling a beanbag picture onto a beanbag.
Well...
I just think that's
at any rate, I think if there's some physical way to show them that they're being cowardly,
right.
There was this kid in school. His name was Logan, and he was a real nuisance in my childhood, and so I used to go out to. We had this orchard where there were some walnut. I think it was walnuts. It's some sort of tree nut, and I would just draw his face on the walnuts, and and then I'd throw him over the fence.
Right, you've got to be.
It made me it gave me the courage to stand up to him.
I can see where you're coming
when
from.
When he was So if you have this beanbag and you're saying, look. This is you right now. You're being an absolute beanbag.
I think a better thing to do. This is great. I think you just came up with a great idea. What if we had a beanbag that had a mirror on it? So if someone's being a bully, you can hold the bully beanbag and reflect their face.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, that's a good idea.
Sorry, we're always coming up with new ideas.
Yeah. If they keep continuing, though, I think I'll have to use the bat, though.
No, don't.
Just tell a teacher.
You're never going to use the bat.
Tell a teacher, tell a parent, tell a police officer. Don't use a bat, or you'll end up in jail.
Yeah, well, it hurts my feelings, and I mean this in the most clean way as possible, but it hurts my feelings when people say that I have small genitalia.
I could see that one coming a mile away.
That was a good call. You know what's funny? When you were talking about hanging out with your brothers. One moment, caller. When you were talking about hanging out with your brothers, I couldn't, for the life of me, remember Wilson's name. I kept thinking Winston, but that's because there's a book that I'm reading right now where a secondary character, prominent secondary character, is named Winston, and so I was like, Winston. I was like, I know that's not his name.
Is that a Hardy Boys book?
No, it's
Brett.
Hardy Boys. Yes, hello, caller. You are live on the air with Brett O'Call.
And C. Kimball, welcome to the one and only Mormon Talk. You are live, and
Hello.
Please keep it clean.
Hi, my name is Kanisha, and I'm a transgender woman. And I was just wondering, what is your opinion on the transgender community?
They are a community of people who have views that are, unique.
Why is it unique?
Anyway,
saying
it's 8:00 and we do have to move on and go on a break. But I will
But
say
you're just
that
gonna cut me off like that? Is it because I'm transgender?
No, absolutely not. We would never.
Is it
cut
because
off
I'm
a
transgender and black?
We would never cut off.
A black.
No, okay. That was unfortunate timing. We have to go on a break. It's, geez, we're already done with an hour. But anyway, we will be back very soon to take more calls. So everyone, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 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 Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
dark sin. Hello, everyone. We are back.
Golly gee, thanks for the patience.
So sorry about that. A couple things came up. First, Brett's been having a little bit of a headache, and so we have this little exercise we do and stuff, and I was kind of rubbing his temples, and I think it helped. And then after that, we were reading emails. So,
yeah, we received an email from a viewer that recommended we watch this video from this YouTuber. I guess we could call them a fellow YouTuber, because we're technically YouTubers at this point.
Right.
Oddly enough, it's weird to think about because we're sitting here talking, right? We're just talking to some folks. But anyway, so we followed up and we watched this video, and it was a dingbat.
I agree. And so it was like they kind of worded it in a way where it seemed like it was their video and it was really important, but we looked at it and it was an old video. And so regardless, anyway, sorry. Phone lines are open again, everyone. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Well, hello.
Welcome to the show.
How are you fellas doing today?
Good. Is this
excellent.
An impersonation?
Or do you have a severe cold?
An impersonation of what?
Sorry. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball and Brett O'Call. Yeah. Do you have a question for us, caller?
Hi. I was wondering, what is like the best way to get into the Mormon religion?
Okay, easy. So go online and type in LDS missionaries.
I don't have a computer. I'm using my friend's laptop.
Okay.
This isn't mine.
Well, the best thing you can do is find an LDS meeting house wherever you live. What state do you live in?
I live in Idaho.
Oh, well, wonderful. I'm sure you can just, ask around and find someone who's a member of the church and go to church with them, and then talk to the missionaries, and they'll take it from there.
I have one more quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you like sucking your dick, motherfucker?
Okay, hello, caller.
I live in Idaho.
Oh, wonderful.
Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call, welcome to Mormon Talk.
This is Jack Knopf, and I saw you guys making out the other day. I have a video to it, too.
This is so fake. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call, welcome to Mormon Talk.
Please keep this respectful. We've been getting call after call that's filth.
No, it's the same female.
Oh, yeah, hang up on her.
Hello, caller. You are live on the air. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hello?
You're live. Go ahead, caller.
Hi. I was just wondering, I've been watching you guys for the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Is this a bit?
What?
Like a comedic bit?
A community bit? What did you say?
A comedic bit.
A comedic.
He thinks we're fake.
Like comedy?
Oh, so you think...
Because if it is, you guys are funny. So very funny.
Caller,
I know that this is intended to be like a compliment, but we're not complimented by it because we try very, very hard to keep a light mood, and so we can be funny from time to time, but
we like to crack
but
jokes.
People, we like to crack a joke here and there, but people call in and make a mockery of the show, and then people are like, "Oh, yeah,
this must be a joke.
This
yeah.
must be a comedy skit or something like that." Come on, no, this is not.
No,
comedy.
I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just saying I watch how you guys are just funny as shit, or funny as crap.
We had to hang up.
Hello, caller. You are live on the air with Brett O'Call.
And Carson O'Kimball, this is not a joke. And it's not a time for cracking jokes unless they're family friendly. Go ahead.
No bad language, please.
Okay.
No
Hello,
suggestive language.
You're on the air.
Can I start?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm reading my scriptures while watching you guys, and so how often do you guys jack each other off, like suck each other off and fuck?
Stop.
Cum each other's mouths?
Hello, caller.
I don't think we should even take any more calls.
This is remember it's Trevor Leahy from last week.
I don't particularly remember having a good conversation with you, Mr. Leahy.
Hello?
Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I'm still having all these issues with being bullied and everything.
Well, we did have a little segment on that earlier tonight, but frankly, stand up to your bully by telling on them.
And
last time I did that, they took my clothes.
Oh,
don't you remember me?
Okay, yeah, I do remember. Who did you tell?
I tried telling my foster parents, but they just told me to go back in my closet.
And get some clothes out of your closet?
No, that's where I stay. They don't let me. I don't even have my own room. It's just a closet.
Caller.
Well, I've experienced some hard times like that before, and your parents are doing their best. Your foster parents are doing their best, and they're trying to.
Your mic is actually rather low.
Mr. Leahy,
That's better. Thank you.
Your parents are trying their best, your foster parents, and they're trying to accommodate you with love and care, and beyond that, however they can, with shelter, food, and
Sometimes
water.
I don't feel like they love me.
That, there were times where I felt as if I questioned my parents' love of me. But, after becoming a father, I understand greatly, what it means to love your children. And sometimes it can be a little confusing because, you know, you have to do everything with love, and that means discipline too. Discipline and things that may seem unfair to the young mind because they only see it in one dimension, right? Whereas as a parent, you can look at the situation and you know, come at it, you know, with the experience of life, and it won't make sense to your children, you know. Why, you know,
we don't even celebrate my birthday 2 years anymore. Every 2 years anymore.
I know some folks that don't celebrate birthdays either. They just kind of.
But I want to.
Okay, you can celebrate your birthday.
When's your birthday, caller?
September.
They didn't celebrate it this year?
No.
Okay.
Did you ask them? Did you ask them if we could
this
celebrate it?
I thought you only celebrate your birthday every 2 years, so this was a skip year.
Oh.
Okay.
That's what they would tell me.
Okay. All right. I am saying this very hesitantly, and I know I'm risking being a little offensive, but is this a joke?
My birthday?
No, is this call a joke? Are you trying to splash the show? Or are you trying to pull a fast one on
I would
us?
never splash you with anything. I promise. I'm just...
So what you've told us is true.
Because I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't believe me.
Oh, no, caller. We want to make sure because we've had
I just feel like no one wants me now.
Your foster
now
parents
you guys
want
don't even want to talk to me, and you're the last people I want.
We love talking to you.
No. I'm so sorry.
Your parents love you.
I feel horrible. I feel just completely like a beanbag. I'm sorry. No, we've just been trolled over and over again tonight, and we're just trying to be very vigilant. But you know what? If what you've said is true, what Brett was saying is, you know, sometimes parents have different methods, and you know, discipline is not. It's not an act of punishment. It's an act of love because they see your potential and they want you to meet it. In fact, the word disciple, to be a disciple of Christ, the root word is disciple, and it's the same root word as discipline.
Is that Italian?
It's Latin. And yeah, and it's basically just, you know, to discipline yourself is to kind of whack yourself in the right position.
I actually met someone this week, a new friend.
You met someone. Okay, well, wonderful.
His name was Randy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, great.
At least, I guess that's something good.
Hip hip hooray!
He had a cowboy hat, and we were eating some cheeseburgers together. It was actually rather spectacular.
Well, that's great. I hope that you and your friend can, you know, be allies at school together.
I just don't know if I can trust. No, it's not. It was. And I actually met him walking home in an alleyway, but I just don't know if I can trust him.
Well, you keep your guard up for a little while you establish this friendship.
It just seems like things are getting worse, and I don't know who else to turn to.
I thought you just said that you.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm having
things
such.
are
I'm
getting
on
worse
the fence
gradually,
right now
but I met someone that helped a little bit. If you understand what I'm saying.
What I'm currently saying is, I'm so sorry to return to this, but I don't know if this is a joke call. It seems like this could be a joke.
What I was getting to the end was, if worse comes to worse, can I rely on you guys to help me?
We're gonna be here for you to call and for you to talk to, and you know that's what we can do.
I was very hurt last week when you hung up on me in the middle of crying since he thought I was joking, and it's just you don't know how it makes me feel. Other people have feelings too.
Yes, of course, and you know we possibly misinterpreted the direction the call was going in. And if that really is the case, we apologize. But if,
Trevor Leahy would never joke about his feelings.
Okay.
Well, Trevor, yeah, like I said, just tell a teacher, tell your foster parents, tell the police, if people are bullying you. The police are always one text away. Or your parents. You know what I mean?
You know how those bikers were messing with me last week?
That was last week? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like last week when I was telling the story.
Okay.
In Wendy's,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I might have to join a gang, I think, just for protection.
No. Join God's gang by getting on your knees.
I don't
want
to go down a bad path.
You're not going to get a...
You don't have to.
It won't be a bad path. Get down on your knees and ask the Lord.
What if they introduce me to drugs and stuff? I'm scared of drugs.
No, we're talking about
drugs
becoming
kill
part of
people.
God's gang. Don't join.
I want to be in God's gang, but I'm just scared.
It's okay to be scared. Fear can sometimes drive you to make great choices. If you're not careful, you can make terrible choices through fear. But sometimes,
very
fear
true.
is the swift kick in the rear that gets your life on track.
So if I just expose myself to this fear, I might get better.
I would say yes, but be
So
cautious.
I should just go up to the Hell's Angels biker gang and just say, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you."
Tell the police on the H-word
Am I
Angels
supposed to be
biker
afraid
gang.
of the police?
What?
You say stick up to the people who you're scared of. So
Yeah.
So am I supposed to be scared of the police?
No, don't be afraid of the police. They're all there to be your friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just confused in this time. I don't know what to do.
Take a few moments and sit down in your room and pray to God.
Here, I have a scripture for you, okay? Just listen to this.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is just a scripture of two people who were backed up in a bad situation. Okay, and sorry. I was getting a phone call. Anyway, here it is. Therefore he sent horses and chariots and a great army, and they came by night and surrounded the city. And when the servant of the man of God arose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, what shall we do? So he answered, Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elijah prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and beheld the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. So when the Syrians came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, Strike this people, I pray, with blindness.
I
And
hope
he
the
struck
Lord
them
strikes
with-
down these biker gangs.
Well, just keep praying, and the Lord will open your eyes. Thank you, caller, and hopefully...
Wait, hang on.
No. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hello, and thank you for taking my call. I'd like to speak directly to the Mormon Talk audience. In these times, it's so important to listen and understand. Listen to the words of our leaders. Wear a mask, unlike these two dolts on your screen. Thank you, and good night.
You've convinced everyone of one thing, that you're a complete beanbag. So congratulations on that one.
We do wear masks.
I think that we're basically at the point where every call is just a splash. But hello, caller. You are on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
This call is not a splash. My name is Jason, but I go by Dr. Shades on the internet.
Welcome back to the show, Dr. Shades.
Yes,
we
it's
are
wonderful to
you
hear
won't
from you.
Splash the show.
Well, good, because I wanted to tell you about an interesting conversation that I had about a week and a half ago. My sister-in-law, she works up at the burn unit up there at the Lehigh Regional Hospital.
Okay.
And of course, we all recall that tragic incident where you did the backflip off the trampoline,
Yes.
Brett, and you burned your back really badly on the barbecue grill.
Yeah.
You know, I seem to get
remember that?
hurt quite. Sorry, Dr. Shades. You probably can't hear me because of the microphone nonsense going on. But yeah, no, how can I not remember? But
yeah,
I now that you're bringing that up, it's kind of putting into perspective. I tend to get hurt quite a bit. I need to be more careful.
Well, yeah, don't we all? But the reason I brought this, sorry to bring up a bad memory that, I don't mean to trigger you or anything, but I just wanted to, tell you and the rest of the Mormon Talk audience that my sister-in-law, she was not there when you were brought in, but she was, she came on shift later, and she says that everybody in the entire burn unit, not just the doctors, but also the nurses and the orderlies, they said that you were the most polite and respectful patient that anyone on the whole unit had ever dealt with. So I thought you should know that.
The way that I conduct myself in everyday life should be the baseline of how everybody conducts themselves when dealing with, not only strangers, but people. Just going out and not looking at people like they need to give you something. These people were giving me something too. They were helping me. They were giving me tremendous relief. I can't speak enough about the relief that they offered me. And I was so thankful to them. But I mean, even if they weren't, in that position of, like gratifying me, and I still treat everyone with that baseline level of respect. And, it's sad that this day and age, that's considered extreme politeness.
Well, that may be so, but, be that as it may, you have set the example, and that's really good advice. And as a matter of fact, when you checked out of the unit, I mean, of course, the hospital staff, their whole job is to get a patient healed and get them on their way so they can start living life again. But every single one of them were like almost sad to see you go, believe it or not. So yeah, that's how good of an impression you made.
Sounds right to me.
So congratulations to you. It's like, and I heard that from her, and I'm like, you know what? Yep, that's the Brett that I know. So, yep, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shades, for relaying that information. I'm glad that I wasn't a negative experience for the frontline workers there.
Absolutely, quite the opposite. So, all right, folks, thank you very much for entertaining this call. Please keep listening to Perfume, and I will hang up and talk to you off the air. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
I forgot about
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Dr. Shades.
All right, farewell. Well, hello, caller.
Hello.
Sorry, Brett's daughter is acting up, but I'll take your call. Hello, this is C. Kimball. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hi, my name's James, and I'm having a couple of questions about Mormonism. If that's all right with you.
We're the perfect place to call. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, a couple questions about gay marriage. Do you guys not like support that, or?
Well, no.
No? That's a shame, because I'm gonna shove my dick up in you. Oh.
Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
You know, I don't think Scarlett will ever make a good mother. The way that she's allowing my daughter to just run rampant and get into things, like she'd gotten into a box of tampons and had sprayed it.
Hold on, everyone. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Hey, Carson and Brett.
Oh, gosh. Wrong place. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
This is Brad Wilcox, and I would just like to say, feel
No.
heavy, but thank you for this day.
Children like this shouldn't be able to use the phones.
Well, at least there was no filth.
I think there was filth. What? I think they said something filthy.
Hello? Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson O'Kimball.
And Brett O'Call. Welcome to Mormon Talk.
Hey guys, this is Nephi. I've called in a few times, but I actually I was wondering if you had received an email that I had written you about 2 weeks ago. It had a video
Which?
that I was wondering if you were going to react to.
Oh, the reaction one?
It wasn't a talent. It wasn't
yeah,
a talent
yeah.
submission.
No, he's
No, it
talking about the
wasn't-
video
no,
you
no,
were
no, it wasn't
mentioning
a
during
talent.
break.
Yeah, you're just making sure.
Well, yeah, we did receive it. I don't, like Brett said, I don't. There's lots of people on the internet who have opinions about the church, and we were sent an email of someone who really thought that they had something to say that negative, and that they could just the church was bad or something like that. There's lots of stuff like that on the internet, but we did kind of skim through the video, and we probably won't make a reaction video to it. No.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's fine. But I guess another question I have. Have you
Wait,
guys heard?
are you talking
Go
about?
ahead.
Sorry, are you talking about the Mr. Atheist video?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, we're not going to make a reaction video to it, but since you're calling in, just some thoughts Brett and I kind of both have is like, so this guy is just he's talking about how he used to be a member of the church, and he's talking about how just horrible his experience was, and about how hard it was to not to get out of the church or whatever, and he was talking about his upbringing, and he didn't say anything that was like compelling, like an argument against being a member of the church. He just basically said that he was skeptical and didn't believe in it. But I was watching the video, and he was saying literally from the time that he was like the age of a deacon that he was self-touching.
Yeah, I think he was like what?
Yeah, he's like 12 years old, and he's already self-touching throughout his entire youth, and then he's past, once he's of age, he's self-touching and then touching the sacrament to break the sacrament and stuff like that.
And then he goes parading around as Mr. Atheist.
Yeah.
You know, that he doesn't believe in God. It's like you're not following a very simple idea that, you know, God comes to you, you know, when you are
living his commandments.
Yeah.
And that's how the Spirit works. And so I'd say, if you want me to react to that, I would say, well, obviously this guy is an atheist. He never had a testimony because he was living unworthy to have the Holy Ghost operational in his life.
Yeah.
And so obviously he's not feeling the Spirit, or at least he's not feeling it the way he should be, as much as he should be. He's not actively seeking a testimony. He's self-touching and then touching things that he shouldn't be, holy things that he shouldn't be. And so, of course, yeah, he's not going to gain a testimony. And then he's talking about how he was in testimony meeting and someone was talking about how someone cleaned their house and this woman couldn't figure out who it was and she attributed it to God. And he basically said that one of the things that turned him off to the church is that people were attributing good things like to God. Like if something good happened, everyone automatically attributed it to God, you know, as if that's like some sort of like, as if that's indicative that they are being irrational. No, God is literally the source of all good. All good comes from him. And so, yeah, he is the origin of that. And we should thank him whenever anything good happens, period. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that really answers your question or if that's what you were seeking, but definitely.
I mean, I guess that I heavily disagree, but I guess that's a fair take for for you guys. But I had another question as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you heard there's another virus going around? In addition to COVID-19, there's a second one. It's called Ligma 9.
Ligma 9?
Yeah, Ligma 9-inch cock.
I don't even... What does that mean?
Hello, caller. You're on the air with Carson and Brett. Welcome to Mormon Talk. Please keep this family friendly or we're going to have to go early tonight. It's just too much for us. But go ahead, caller.
So that was the guy that sent us the email?
Yeah, I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. I heard all of it.
Let's just move on. Do you have a question for us, caller?
I do.
Go ahead.
All right, so I was just wondering, do you guys, like, ever partake in anal sex?
Caller, you are in the air with Carson
and Brett.
Welcome to Mormon Talk, please.
Hello.
There are families that watch the show. We cannot let them hear
Well, the show is for the families.
Constant stream of filth that we've been getting from, I'd say probably 80% of the callers tonight.
More than
at
that.
least.
More than that.
More than that. Great. But please, caller, keep this family friendly. Do you have a question for us that is sincere
Yes.
and clean?
Hello?
Hello. You're on the air.
Yeah, my question is, why are you guys both fucking stupid motherfuckers who fuck each other in the god?
You know, I think you need to get a better mouse because whenever you click, it doesn't like react instantly. It's like it's a really slow delay react whenever you click. We need it to be instantaneous. The speed of electricity.
Do you want to click? Here.
No, I'm not even.
Hello?
I'm blaming your mouse, not
Here.
you.
Click the button.
Oh, I'm glad you called.
Hello? Hello, caller? Hello?
Hello?
Can you, hello? Hello? Can you hear us?
Oh, I'm glad you called.
Hello, caller. Live on the air with Brett O'Call.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Caller, do you have a question for us? We don't have much time, and we are at the end of our rope. So.
Yes. Hi, my name is Steve.
Hello, Steve. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was a convert to the church growing up. My parents, everybody was Muslim, but I talked to the missionaries and I became a member at age 18. I'm 39 now, but I lost faith, and you guys straightened my faith.
Well,
that's how you guys.
Well, how did we do that?
Well, by watching you guys and how you guys are like Christ-like, and how you guys carry yourself like how Christ would carry himself like.
I aspire to be Christ-like, but I'm not.
Yes.
I do my best, and so frankly, thank you, but you're wrong. But I'm happy that you can see my aspiration.
Yes.
Well, that's great, caller.
Did you leave the church, or have you stayed in the church?
Well, I left, but I was thinking of going back, but with all this COVID stuff going on, the congregation or our ward is closed right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have some online.
You can watch it over Zoom.
Yeah, you can do a Zoom meeting thing.
I have to teach seminary over Zoom.
Okay.
I'm so excited to see you as a teacher. That's so exciting. Yeah.
I'll definitely email you guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. Try to get into a Zoom. Just stop in.
Okay.
Say hello. Show your face.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, wonderful. Thank you for calling in, and we'll just keep on plugging on. Oops.
Hello, caller. You are live on the air with Brett O'Call.
Hello,
Carson. You're on the air, caller. You have a question for us?
Yeah. How do I become a Mormon, you fucking stupid bitch?
I saw that one coming with a voice changer. You can't fool us.
Mommy sat at.
No more children. Hello, caller. You are live on the air with Brett O'Call and Carson O'Kimball. Welcome
Hi,
to Mormon Talk.
Brett. This is Beth. Hi, Carson.
Oh,
How
hello,
are you?
Beth. Strained, to say the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came into this in pain, and I have a new kind of pain.
Yeah.
And my previous pain hasn't subsided either, so I'm really straining here to maintain sanity.
That's no good. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're not well. I have a question for you. What is your definition of bullying?
Harassment.
Yeah, harassment, making people feel antagonized.
Unwelcome.
Yeah, antagonizing people for their beliefs or non-beliefs. Just making people... And I have a feeling that we know why you're calling in and asking that specific question. It's because week after week, people have been reporting to us via email. We've had people calling in crying, saying that you specifically are bullying people. And I told everyone who called in tonight to tell on their bully. And someone did tell.
How am I bullying? Because, respectfully disagreeing with somebody isn't bullying. Just saying, no, this is not correct, isn't harassment.
I think it probably goes far beyond that. Because I don't
What
think
am I
children
doing
would be...
that-
I don't think children would be crying and calling us unless there was a serious incident. One time, maybe someone's just... zinging around, but when it's multiple times and when we see in the chat that people are saying Beth is bullying, it's just I think that the probability that you're not is extremely low.
I want something concrete to point to, but
Yeah, have I said anything in particular that?
Well, the thing is,
we haven't been watching the
causing
chat.
somebody.
We're
like
pretty absent in the chat. We try to check it as much as we
Sorry,
can
Brett,
in the
I'm
show.
having trouble hearing you.
Let's just trade mics.
No, it's okay. We try our best. I wish there was something concrete we could point to as, evidence. Maybe you don't know, that this might be hurting someone's feelings or harassing them.
I think she knows.
And so I wish there was something, a smoking gun, so to speak. But and maybe there is, but we can't really point it out. We try to look at the chat as much as we can during our show. But we're trying to stay vigilant with the calls and not let any pranksters get the best of us, and so it's really hard to distract our attention from the calls to look at the chat. So I wish I had something to
it's hard to do both,
offer you.
but yeah, I don't think it's ever being falsely accused of bullying because, I try and be polite, but I will be honest in the conversation. If I disagree, I'll say something. But disagreement's not classed as bullying.
I think that, I think that that's true, but one thing I do know about bullies is they rarely admit it. They usually, if someone calls them out, they'll tell someone, I never did that. I was playing. Maybe they thought I was being rough, but I wasn't actually. That type of thing happens all the time. But Beth, I'm gonna have to side with the children on this one. I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen countless comments alleging that you're bullying.
I think they're false accusations, but if you have any hard evidence that you could point to with me bullying, then I could change my ways. But if it's just the fact that I'm expressing a disagreement, then that's not really bullying. If you say, hey, I'm wrong, hey, that's wrong, that's not really... Yeah, go on.
Let me enlighten you with a story that you'll be able to relate to in some way. Oh no, that's not good. Anyway, we had a frequent caller who would call all the time in the beginning ages of the show. Who you may have witnessed some of his calls. His name was the Pi 20, and we would frequently disagree with him on his claims and beliefs,
okay,
and his accusations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
right.
it was a disagreement to a certain extent, and that's fine and healthy and normal par for the course in any conversation. However,
right.
his disagreement crossed the borders of harassment, and it crossed into that territory. So we did notify some people that we were being harassed by this individual, and
that's no good.
And so we took care of the situation. If you noticed, he hasn't called in a very long time, and that's because we used the resources available to us to remove him from our call-in show because of his harassment. And so I'm not saying this applies to you directly, but I'm just letting you know that this there is a line of antagonizing with disagreements that can be interpreted and felt as harassment.
And another thing is, I'm reading in the chat as Brett was speaking, and I'm seeing all sorts of children come out and say that Beth has bullied them. Beth has bullied one of their cousins. Laughing at them is an example of bullying, frankly. And You know, a lot of bullies laugh at their victims. Okay, Randy A. Williams. Randy A. Williams says she has only been kind to me. In other words, you know, you're not being as kind as you should be to everyone else, but maybe you have a favoritism toward Randy because you see him as...
No, I've been kind to everyone.
How are we supposed to... So it's either everyone's lying and Beth is telling the truth.
People are lying. There's some of them I don't even know. I've never interacted with.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about internet bullying is you don't know them.
And
you just bully people.
The thing is, in chat, you can see everything that I have typed. So unless
I don't
you
have...
can point to some hard evidence...
I don't have time to go through the
just
chat.
false.
That's our moderators' jobs, and we've received reports from our moderators that there is that it's unclear, but that they are... It's potential bullying that's going on.
Look.
Potential bullying? So saying I disagree with what you're doing is bullying?
I just don't necessarily think...
If that's the case, then does that mean no one's allowed to disagree with you?
No, that's obviously a straw man
then
that
they
you
would
built.
be lost.
Because this disagreement happens all the time during the phone calls and such. I think it's going beyond it because it's just...
May I see the microphone? Look, just from our perspective, try to step into our shoes for a moment. You know, Schlocken's razor suggests that the...
Look at this.
Oh.
Look at... It's pouring in, Beth.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is Schlocken's razor suggests that... I have to stop looking at the chat. It's distracting me. That,
I'm sorry. It's just overwhelming at this point.
You know, the most likely cause of something is probably what it is, right? And so from our perspective, we aren't monitoring the chat in the way that we should, maybe. And so it's either a, you know, we believe the children, or we believe that there is a cabal of people trying to put you down. You know, when we have a lot of people.
I think that's the case. I think there's people trying to put me down because they can't handle being disagreed with.
I don't know if it's just disagreement. I'm reading a chat right here. It says this. It's from Jack Knopf. He says, "Seriously, guys, stop. I'm being serious. She has found my friend's account on other social media outlets and has bullied them over a span of a few weeks. His mental health is not good right now." CL Companion says, Beth is a bully. Oh, not. Oh.
No.
Okay, well,
no.
A lot of the time... Listen, okay. I hope that no is a new start for you. Saying, no, I'm not a bully. I hope that's an affirmation that you're not going to
continue bullying.
And you know what? Even if you feel like your behavior is not full-on bullying, maybe sometimes people can be bullies or make people feel antagonized without really thinking they are. And so maybe if people are claiming that you're bullying them, maybe stop what you're doing, even if you feel like it's right. Because these are children, Beth.
Yeah, they might just interpret it. You know, they might interpret
Well, they're free
your
to block me if
conversation.
they think I'm bullying them. Did you enjoy your Vegemite? I'm so sorry that you had a really hard time with it. I'm sorry that you had an allergy to it.
That's okay. It wasn't your fault or your intention. Yeah.
No.
I must say I did not enjoy the taste. I thought it tasted like a tire.
No.
But that's okay. It's an acquired taste. But
it really is.
When I laid down to go to bed, everything was fine, but I felt a tingle in my throat, and then I woke up later that night. I woke up later in the night, and my lips were swollen. My mouth was like completely numb. Yeah, it was an allergic reaction to Vegemite. So. Yeah.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
No.
Oh, that's good.
I've had allergic reactions to things before.
Yeah.
And
Do you hold an EpiPen in case you come across
no,
gluten and
no,
Okay.
I could breathe fine.
I know people who do. That's good. I'm glad that it didn't cause that kind of reaction for you.
Well,
Yeah.
well, good.
Well, we had a lot of fun sending you that parcel and watching you open it. And yeah.
Yeah, it
So,
was.
Yeah, thanks for showing.
It was quite a colorful package, I will
Yes.
say. There were lots of snacks.
Quite
you
the
know.
treat. We
And
really loved it.
Yeah.
It was a big package from Down Under, and we
Oh.
appreciate that. Personally, like we said before, Brett and I couldn't really partake of almost all of it, but our wives.
That's a shame.
Don't
Well,
worry.
they said-
Our wives enjoyed the package, and yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
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 Well, look, if there's anything that you want from Australia that, within your dietary requirements, just let me know and I can always organise something to be sent to you.
Love and support.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Pardon?
Thank you for that, and thank you for your kindness. Just please make sure to extend that same kindness to the children in the chat going forward.
Will do. No worries. Well, yeah.
Great.
That's right. Well, they're free to block me if they have any problems with what I say. But you have a lovely night. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll take one more call.
Goodbye, Australia.
Hello, caller. You are on the air with Carson O'Kimball
and Brett O'Call.
Hello.
You know
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to mess with or get rid of those callers fast.
You said mess with the callers.
No, to get rid of them fast. The ones that are messing with you.
Oh, I see. You had a slip of the tongue. Okay.
Yes.
Well, what's your tip?
There's actually a automatic hang up button. If you hit ALT plus F4, it will automatically hang up.
Sorry, what was that?
ALT. While you press that and press F4.
Okay.
Like here. ALT F4.
Hold that down and then press F4.
Yeah, I held down the letters ALT and then F4.
No, the button ALT on the bottom left-hand
I don't
corner.
think I have.
There's no
that
ALT
button.
button. What are you talking about?
Oh no, this one. It's smudged. So ALT
sure?
and F4, and that toggles Skype to end the call.
Yes.
We don't want to end your call right now. We don't want to end your call right now.
I will let you try it on me if you like, sir.
seems. Well, are you done with your call?
I was just calling to help you fellas out.
Okay.